Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Tuesday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I am L-I-V-E, live. Woohoo! Alright. Come on in. Good to see everybody. Come on in, step right down. Baby, let your hair hang down. Good to see everybody. Melissa. Zoom in. Zoom out. Okay. Good to see everybody. Hello, Sandra. Canada has come in the door. Good to see everybody. Hey, Lila. Lila. Okay. So who can tell me what's going on tonight? Hint, hint. Just look at your screens. Hey, Malba. Melissa says it's cold. Lila says pictures are too stinking cute. Duet coloring. Oh, you had a question mark, yes. Amy's saying hi from work. Amy, the instructions are in announcements. You color it and you go to the folder in files. Good to see everybody. Let me see what we got here. You won that book? Oh, how cool. Sarah, congratulations. Hey, Wanda, good to see ya. So who wants to tell me what the name of this book is? Yeah, that elephant is pretty cute, isn't it? Yeah. All animals go to heaven, that's right. By Dawn Denise Boyer. Yep. Speaking of which, Dawn, get in here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, speaking of which, did you guys get your Hildy download? Oh, you can't remember if it was the dog or cat picture that you colored. I don't know. No worries, at least you won. That's good. So I'm going to be making a future contest out of this set. I put the link up. It's the Hildy books. It's a download. I think it's like $6.50. I'm having too much fun with this. Alright, so just to let you know about that. Guys, if you have any questions about contest check announcements, sound check, please. Alright, so we got the dog and the elephant. Oh, and by the way, remember, guys, last night when I was working with that holographic stuff, the nail art stuff, and I said, you watch, I'm going to find this in my bed. Guess where I found some this morning? Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca. Good to see everybody. I have a shadow. I have a shadow. Well, I will fix that right now. Yeah, I will find glitters all over the house. Oh, you can color again. Yay, Rebecca. All right, let's make sure Miss Dawn's going to be in here. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to those in the room. Welcome to those who are observing up in the balcony. So while we're waiting for Dawn, this is the Duet Colored with Dawn Denise Boyer. Oh, Pearl, that is wonderful. How cool is that? Well, you know, like I said, if you can't color, you can at least come in and enjoy and watch and laugh and talk to us. And that's really the main thing of this room. No problem, Dawn. People are just falling in the door. See, I should have shown you a finished picture of this, and that would blow your mind and have you think that I was done and ahead of you. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. All right, and here's another contest winner who got a lot of loot. Okay, Dawn, we'll get you in. I'm adding you right now, sweetie. All right, let's get that. Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Man, I came in with no trouble. I unlocked my screen.
Right.
How lucky am I getting this trip through?
No kidding.
Sorry, I came in a few minutes late. My husband and I ate a late dinner, and we decided to try to get a quick little walk in. And
Okay.
walked in the door and went, "Oops, I'm late for a very important date."
There you go. All right, well, catch your breath, relax.
So did you decide which picture you wanted to color?
I think I'm going to work on the elephant.
Oh, okay. You gonna force me to do the fur on the beagle?
Hey, you asked me. Don't give me that. I'm going to force you garbage. Jeez. All right, we can see what kind of mood that Dawn's in tonight.
I'm in a good mood, actually. I'm pretty much pain-free after working my arse off all weekend. And so let me see if I can get my my iPad cooking so I can look over at comments.
Okay. It's fine. Like I said, just relax, and we're getting people that are falling in the door. Okay, so while Dawn's getting set, is there anybody today that might need a prayer? Let me know. Oh, I love that puppy dog. Can anybody use prayer today? Oh, we're getting set. It might be you. Sandra Shelley, yay. Ooh. That's cool. Let's do another sound check. Sandra, how are you doing? I am so happy you're new lower tonight. My set. And it is fantastic.
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm in focus, hopefully.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Grab your drink, yeah. Get whatever you need to drink.
I don't know if it's me, ILene, but it almost sounds like you're speaking through a tin can a little bit.
Boy, okay. Let me see. Is that any better, guys? Oops, hold on.
Yeah, sounds like you're getting there.
How is that? Is that any better?
A little bit. There's a really long delay between my phone camera and my iPad, so I'm not sure if I'm moving the paper in the right place to get it centered, or maybe I need to go to the left, getting backwards mirror image.
Okay.
That should work better. There you go.
Okay, well, you're nice and clear to me, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any problems with people. How's it going, everybody? So let me know how the sound is sounding on my end.
Yeah, it's understandable, just barely still sounding like a tin can, but I can understand. It's not that bad.
Well, the reason that I got this headset was to sound clearer. How is that? Is that any better?
Yes.
I'm just changed. Okay, so that's better.
Seems
okay. 8 and clearer now. Yeah, sometimes what I do is I lower the microphone away from my mouth, so we'll see how that is. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the sound is better when you put it away from your mouth, and other times it's better when you get it closer. So just
Yeah.
depends.
It depends on the technology, guys.
Yeah.
The technology gods is what I should say. Yeah, and then I have to remember to use my indoor voice.
No,
Use your
it's the
indoor voice.
technology goddesses because women are so fickle, as is
There you
technology.
there you go. There you go. Okay.
So the challenge for this is we're supposed to use colors that we normally would not use for an animal here on Earth. So I want to get the first 2 or 3 people with comments on what colors they would like me to color this puppy.
Oh, now wait a minute. That wasn't part of our deal that you were going to get help while we were going. Okay. All
Hey,
right.
it's a
All right.
concert, remember?
Yeah. Okay. Before we do this, Dawn, though, let's talk about your this book and why you published this and how you did it and that sort of thing.
Okay. I have a very dear friend who actually helped me become a wedding officiant in Norfolk, and she had she had a little dog that she was just absolutely, oh my gosh, this was her child. And
Yeah.
because this child, this little dog, I think it was a little Yorkshire Terrier, long-haired Yorkshire Terrier, had to have been like no more than 5 pounds dripping wet. And one day she opened up the front door, and the dog uh, unexpectedly zipped out straight out into the street and got hit by a car. And
Oh
I'm sure the
no.
car didn't even know it hit it because it was so tiny, it probably didn't even make a thump. And
Oh no.
so she was just absolutely heartbroken. The dog's name was Commander because he commanded them to do everything for him. And
Mm-hmm.
so she, just couldn't stand it for a while. And I think about, I just felt so bad for her. So I drew, this picture of her dog that she'd had a picture of the dog up on her Facebook profile. And I drew it and I put little angel wings on it and sent it to her. And I think she just broke down when she saw it. She just loved it.
Oh.
And so I thought, when I was growing up, one of the big questions I had as a kid was, Mommy, my cat just died. Will the cat go to heaven? My puppy just died. Will my puppy go to heaven? And, there's people out there that are just downright mean and say, of course not. And I'm of the opposite, that it just, I think that animals have souls too, and as such they will go to heaven. And I don't think there are any animals in hell unless they're like really mean or something on purpose, maybe the Komodo dragon. But
Okay.
I think I drew a Komodo dragon or an alligator or something with angel wings too.
Okay.
So Maddie, did you say you could or could not hear me?
Yeah, we're getting across the board, so people are going to need to adjust on their end. I can hear you perfectly,
Okay.
so we're all set. Okay.
So we've got all kinds of rainbow color suggestions. Lila says green. Rebecca Jones says blue and darker green. Purple puppy, purple. Blue, blues and silver on the puppy. Pink polka dot. Um, so I think most of the people can hear me. Those who can't, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure exactly what to do. So I think
Yeah.
green, blue, and purple are the colors that have been suggested for the puppies so far. So,
Okay. Well, I'm already ready launching into this. So
Yeah, I saw you get started without me.
Well, I distracted you, you see.
Yes, that's true. All right.
So what year did you publish this book, Dawn? Do you remember what year it was?
I think it actually, I think the copyright date is at the bottom of the PDF. I think it was 2019.
Okay.
And I think I did it right before Christmas that year.
Okay.
But that's the story. And then I have had some other people who, at the same time period, amazingly enough, were commenting about, they just lost their pet and they were so sad and all this kind of stuff. So while I was drawing all the animals for this book, I thought, well, they showed a picture of their pet. Let me just draw the pet with some angel wings on it and see how they react. And some of them were just amazed and loved it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, guys, that this is in the affiliate list if you guys decide that you want to pick it up. And I'm in the process of putting all of Dawn's books in the affiliate list.
She's laughing. All 115 books, huh?
Oh, I'm gritting my teeth.
Well, I appreciate your effort.
Oh, hey, glad to do it. Really, seriously, I am very glad to do it. Okay.
I think the fun of painting or coloring animals that have gone to heaven with different colors is, the cliche is, oh, my animal went over the rainbow bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got to the other side, they picked up some of the colors of the rainbow.
Oh, there you go. All right, let me lower my volume just a little bit. Let's see if that helps. All right, Dawn, are you hearing me all right?
I hear you fine.
Good, okay.
Sarah Wolf, I love you too for loving my books. I'm working on 2 other books right now, and I promised to have them done by the end of the summer, but I have a feeling it might be more towards Christmas before I get them out with all the renovations that I'm doing and all the work that I'm, got on top of me. So here's the latest conundrum that we have discovered is that we figured out at the farm, we have to literally build from scratch 2 new kitchens with the cabinetry and everything. So we went looking at just the raw cabinets at Lowe's and Home Depot, and I'm just not too terribly thrilled about them because they're just industrial builder's grade cabinets. But if I was to buy custom cabinets, instead of paying like $100 for one cabinet, I might end up paying $400 or $500. So I've started thinking creatively, and I saw somewhere on Pinterest where this woman took a china cupboard or a hutch, and she took it apart. There was a top part and a base part. She took it apart. She hung up the top part up on the wall against the ceiling, and then the bottom part she pushed up against the wall to create like a counter or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So right now I'm in the process of looking around to buying some reasonably good shape china cabinets and hutches and stuff that I'm going to build my mother-in-law suite as a kitchen countertop set.
Dawn, some of the people want to know what you're using for your coloring medium.
I am using the Monarch I love the Scorpion, Black Widow, and Monarch, and the skin colored pencils. They're my absolute favorite. So that's what I'm using. Right now I'm using the green slime of the Monarch
Okay.
set. It's M is in monkey, N is in no, and then 052.
Okay.
So that's the base color I'm putting down on the puppy. He's going to look like he rolled around in some freshly cut grass.
Oh, how cute. Now my pencil selection varies because, as you guys know, I have all different kinds of brands. Right now I'm using a Brett Fooner, and I'm going ahead and putting down my basic circles here using my template, and I highly recommend that you go ahead and pick up a circle template.
Good God, snow in Oklahoma, Stacy? I do not envy you. It's like about 68 degrees here today.
Now, depending what I do with this background, I may look into doing some dimensional coloring on these circles. We'll see. And when I go ahead and do the wings, I am thinking right now that I'm going to go ahead and do those with conventional colors. We'll see. Dawn, did you see my broadcast last night? Any of it?
I wasn't able to.
Okay. What I did, I purchased some holographic shoot, what's the word for them?
Stickers or something? I did see the post where you showed that picture with the glittery holographic stuff on the lady's dress or something.
Yeah, that's the holographic nail art.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And so I went ahead and did a lady's dress with that. And so I got some more in today. I got some standard cellophane in, and and now I'm looking at some scissors to cut it off, to cut them up.
Wonder if nail cutting scissors would help. The real teeny tiny nail scissors.
Well, what I really need, let me grab a package real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll show you this.
Hey, everybody who's watching my puppy being colored, does everybody see where the hearts are that I've hidden?
I haven't seen the one on the elephant yet. I'll have to look on the puppy, but I'm not going to tell if I find it.
You know, I tell you, I cannot remember everywhere I hide these hearts in these pictures. So sometimes people come along and say, "Well, where's the heart? I don't see them," and I'm like, "I don't know. I have to look myself."
So what I did is I bought some of this cellophane paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to squinch it up, and then I'm going to cut it into teeny tiny pieces, because I don't want to continue to pay the expensive price of the stuff that comes with the nails.
Yeah.
So did you guys find the heart with the dog, other than the nose? And then what I picked up, oh, let me get this. See, now you're just distracting me, so you'll get ahead of me.
Hey, you started without me. Turnabout's fair play.
Yeah, listen to this. So I'll talk about this more tomorrow. There we go. So here are some more foils and things that you can use to put on your pages. But as I got to looking at this, like I said, I bought my own cellophane and I'm going to chomp that up. Because honestly, in this set right here, it looks like they just, excuse me, tore pieces of cellophane and, you know, wrap. Oh, there's another idea too. The dollar store, go buy some of that wrap like this and cut that up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't even have a Dollar Tree anywhere near me. I have Dollar General stores, but no Dollar Tree.
Okay. So as I was saying, I'm going to go ahead for the wings and use that stuff. So that'll be a little more conventional.
Does anybody else get a little nervous about getting ready to color an animal, and you're going to be courageous enough to do something just a little bit different, and you're so worried it just won't turn out as well as you want it to be? I think I read people having that kind of sentiment, and but I'm sort of digging this green on this puppy here.
Let's see here. And we'll try to catch your questions, guys. Let's see here. I saw one go by here.
Yeah, Kristen was asking about sponge brushes and Azteca watercolor pencils. I'm not sure why they couldn't be used.
Yeah, Kristen, you know, the best thing to do for that is go ahead and ask that question in the group. And then that way we'll have a variety of people looking at that. And welcome to everybody that's here. Please share this on your timeline. And this is Dawn D. Boyer. And she is the author. I always have to ask you, 80-some books, coloring books?
118, I think, is the last count.
118. And so we'd love to have our artists come in and do this duet coloring. It is not a duel at all. It is meant to show you the different styles as we do our coloring. And to show you different ideas with things. And for those of you who are new to the group, if you have any questions at all to Dawn, please do not hesitate. I have these artists come in so that you have access to them.
Oh, I'm loving this little green puppy. He almost looks like he's on a car ride and he got a little car sick.
Ooh.
I'll add the blues.
Okay, and Dawn, you started to say that you have got what more books coming out?
I've got 2 more books coming out. It's slow going on them, and it's just because after a full day of my real job work and then renovating both houses, 7 days a week, sometimes I'm just looking at my sketchbook going, yeah, I don't have the strength to lift the pencil anymore. So,
Okay.
but so my goal is hopefully to get them out before Christmas. Before Thanksgiving would be even better.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them is going to be another of the Colonial Williamsburg books with the architecture from that the restored colonial district. And then the other book, that one's really slow going because I absolutely suck at drawing faces. So I had to go really, really slow to get this one done. But I'm drawing women's faces, and then I'm drawing masks over them, like the Carnival in Venice and the New Orleans Mardi Gras costumes and masks. And I'm also trying to look all the way around the world for other examples of masks to draw over these women's facial features.
Yeah.
And you know me, I always put out 50 illustrations per book in the majority of my coloring books. So, you know, going with tradition, these two, I think I've got about 7 illustrations for each book already drawn. And I'm going back and forth so I don't get like absolutely sick of each one before, you know, I just want to quit.
Yeah.
So it varies it up and helps me change a scenery, so to speak.
And I also wanted to welcome Helen Elliston is in the group, and
Hi, Helen.
Daniel. Yeah, and Daniel Willis. I don't know, Dawn, if you know about Daniel Willis. He's a new artist that is joining our family, and I will be featuring his work later this month.
Yeah, I've seen him commenting on some of the, you know, I'll jump into some of the events at night and look, and I've seen his name pop up several times. And I think I, at one point, went and looked at his at his Facebook page or his artist page or something like that, just to look at some of the artwork. And from what I can remember, this must have been last week, I think his artwork was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. So if we can get him to say hi, because I didn't see him pop in here, but sometimes the only way I know that somebody's in the room is all of a sudden my peeps will say, hi, so-and-so.
So Helen finished the back cover for her new book.
Yeah.
And let's see, Rita Joyce, you asked what book this is from. If you go to the announcements page, the PDF will be there for you to download and print out. And at the, I think on the first of the 3 pages of the PDF, I think I have the name of the book. It's 2 volumes, Big Kids Coloring Book, All Animals Go to Heaven, Volume 1 and Volume 2. They are available on Amazon.
Daniel, good to see you. How are you doing tonight?
There's Daniel.
So we're excited about having Daniel in here. He's got some really nice artwork in the pike, and I'm working with a publisher in Canada to highlight some artists, and he's one of the artists that is coming through here. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll figure out real quick that when he comes into this group and we all say hi and get to know him, he quickly becomes family.
Yes.
So
I just realized I had nothing up underneath this page, and I'm getting the my desk wood grain coming through the paper as I'm pressing down. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting.
And hopefully that this is also a situation where some of the artists can connect with each other if you're so inclined. Of course, that's all up to the individual artist, but you know, we've got a lot of neat stuff going on. Oh my gosh, look how cute that looks. I love it. Got little dots.
You know, there's a festival in India where they take these elephants and paint them up. I can't remember if it's a religious Hindu type of festival, or if it's just something that they do traditionally at a certain time of the
Mm-hmm.
year. But some of the artwork that is put onto the elephant's skin, and they're all non-toxic paints. I think they're
Yeah,
trying very hard to be safe for the elephants, but some of the designs on the elephants that are being painted are just extraordinary. They're
I've seen it. Yeah.
amazing.
And just in case Daniel is wondering what's going on and why my elephant, for example, has all these dots on it, is because the challenge, Daniel, is to color the page and color the animal using designs and patterns and colors that you normally wouldn't see. So we're going non-traditional with this.
Because they've gone over the Rainbow Bridge.
That's right. All righty. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. Yeah, if anybody has any questions about supplies or anything like that, just go ahead and post those little puppies.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Gee, I wouldn't do that on purpose, would I? Just post those little puppies in the main group. And you know that we love, well, I love to feature our artists, and that's why we're featuring Dawn tonight. And you guys have told me that you absolutely love having artists come in and do this duet coloring. And I would highly encourage you to look into, yeah, you can use paint, you can use any medium that you want, because this is the contest for the rest of you too as well. Dawn, tell people what the prizes are.
Okay, the prizes are going to be, the winner of the contest is going to be announced. I think it's May 2nd, and then the prize will be a choice. You could either choose one of the volumes from All Animals Go to Heaven, which is one of the books from which these pictures are from, or you could choose a surprise package from me, and I will directly mail you a package of one or two, at least two books signed by me. And I think those who have won contests recently have also found a little bonus in the package. I have printed out on cardstock a illustration that I've drawn, and then I've signed it and tucked it in between the books that I send to the winners. So it's sort of like a little surprise winning bonus.
So one question came up from Julie, and she wants to know if you regularly color your pictures, your own pictures.
You know, Julie, I really, that it's not something I do on a regular basis. I love drawing, but over the last probably several decades, I would get the black and white pen and ink picture drawn, and then it's like in my heart, I just feel I'm finished. And I just never thought that I could do it justice by coloring it myself. And to be quite honest, there are some absolutely stunningly talented colorists out there on the internet. And if you go through Instagram and just Google on coloring and coloring artists and stuff like that, those people blow my mind. I mean, I could never, ever even imagine achieving some of the coloring effects that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just felt too intimidated to color my own work. And then Irene's been sort of pushing me. Eileen's been pushing me. And once I get started, I actually sort of enjoy it. I sort of get into this Zen moment. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that I don't have to be anywhere, do anything. There's nothing pressing me that I have to get done. And so it's like I'm sort of getting into the coloring just by itself lately. I
Well,
don't
don't,
I don't get much of a
yeah,
chance to color.
yeah, don't feel bad, Dawn, because we talk to artists, all the time when they come in. And, as Julie has just pointed out, you're the fourth artist that says you don't color your own stuff.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. Helen says she colors her own stuff, but sometimes she's too busy creating her books to color. So, and
Yep.
that's understandable as well.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. I understand exactly.
Let's see. Well, and it's really interesting though, because Daniel, are you still in the room with us? Um, one of the things too that I like to discuss with artists is they should really sit down and color one of their one of their own pieces, one or
Mm-hmm.
two of their own pieces.
Right.
And the reason that I say that is because sometimes as the artist, they don't realize the ins and outs of what we see
Yep.
when we're coloring the piece. And
Well,
so
I remember when Jeff Haney came in and he was getting all these tips on his grayscale, and he's like,
mm-hmm,
"Oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't never thought of that," and he came away with a lot of good insight to how to make the images better for grayscale, if nothing else.
mm-hmm. And that's exactly right, because, you just don't necessarily realize that when you trail something off or something doesn't make sense, it frustrates us because we're literally coloring every inch of the page, and so we like to see that finished one way or the other.
Yeah, and what is that thing over there that's under the table?
Yeah, yeah. And it's not a complaint at all. It's just, insight for the artist to see what we're looking for. Okay. So let me see where I've got. All right. Oh, Stacy, thank you for letting me know that Daniel responded. Yeah, so Daniel, that's also a benefit to you coming in as an artist to be introduced through the group, is that you'll get feedback on how we color your pages. So hopefully that will be helpful to you as well. I'll tell you, my peeps are really good because sometimes I can't see, or I'm a little distracted right now. And I didn't see Daniel's response. Okay, so I'm using a Duet Colored Soft right now, which is neither here nor there. Again, because I have different pencil brands that I used. There we go. So Dawn, I'm not sure I really asked you this question, but what in the world got you into producing coloring books? You may have answered, I don't remember. And how did you end up producing so many?
Well, years and years ago, there was a Huffington Post newspaper article that was talking about Joanna Basford and her having gone to press with or sold her 1 millionth coloring book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading the article and I'm like, wait a minute, adults color? What? Really? And the article sort of outlined how, that now my understanding is that in France, it's a really hot hobby for adult hobbyists over there, and it's been that way for decades. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the Huffington Post article mentioned something about Joanna Basford having, she was in graphic and art design, and
Right.
she was doing some drawings, and somebody suggested she put together an adult coloring book. And she sort of poo-pooed it at first, I think, and then finally got warmed up to the idea and then started putting it out. And amazingly, it took off, better than her expectations. And while I'm reading the article, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I have all these line drawings from the years and years since I was in, going through with my BFA, my Bachelor of Fine Arts from Virginia Commonwealth University, and then later Radford University. And I'm like, I bet you I have some line art that other people would enjoy just, printing out or having print out in a book and to color, because I, a little bit of humility here. I thought my drawings were pretty good. They were a lot of pen and ink drawings, and I thought, well, what the heck. And then I was also learning a lot about internet marketing, and one of the gentlemen who was teaching these internet marketing how-to points, he would start off with these free classes, and then he'd say, and for only $19.99, you can get the whole training course, yada yada, on how to do this, that, and the other. And of course, I never bought them because I thought I could just figure it out myself instead of having to buy a training package. And I did
Mm-hmm.
over the course of several weeks and months figure out how to publish my own books. And I started off with CreateSpace when they were still in existence, and then they moved over to KDP, Kindle Direct Publication. And so I put out a book of some of my initial art school pen and ink drawings. And then I saw that people were absolutely gaga over mandalas. So I created some mandalas. And I have to
Yeah,
admit,
just a few.
yeah,
Go on.
the mandala books, I have to admit, they were not that good. I mean, they were okay, but they were not what you'd call absolutely amazing, breathtaking, gorgeous, and that sort of stuff. But there were people buying them, and at one point, there was one Christmas where I made some amazing royalties from the mandala books. And then over the years, I thought, okay, this is working out pretty good. I'm going to have to just start drawing my little heart out and creating more coloring books, and try to hit all the little niche areas that people would be interested in coloring. And then I got a little tired of doing the mandala books, and I was looking around for an idea for another coloring book, and I wanted it to be cute but not cutesy, if that makes
Right.
sense. And so I was going through Pinterest, and I saw some people that were building three-dimensional crafty fairy houses and fairy doors. And I thought, ooh, I like that. It's got like the architectural element. It's got fantasy design. I don't necessarily have to put fairies in the drawings because they're about the houses and the doors. And so I drew my first one, and I don't think there's any fairies at all in the first one. And it just started selling like hotcakes. And I thought, okay, that was interesting. And so I thought, well, let's do a volume 2. and then let's do a volume 3, and then a volume 4 and a volume 5. And so I've got 5 of those out there now, but I am so out ferried houses and doored right now. I can't stand looking at them anymore.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Do you solicit input from people such as my peeps as far as subject matter of your books, or do you more go with what you're interested in? How do you balance that?
I've had people make suggestions, but I have found that a lot of the people who make suggestions are of topics that are already out there or already done. One example would be somebody said, oh, you should do gnomes. Well, there's 2 other artists out there right now that do gnomes, and they're beautiful and very cute and very aesthetic little books. Excuse me a second, I got to sneeze.
Sure.
Ooh, excuse me.
God bless you.
Anne Manera, who is quite talented
yes.
in creating some super simple coloring books that people who are just getting into coloring like to use and color. Another one is Tabitha Barnett. She's got this
yes.
absolutely just as cute as it could be series of books called Broken Circles. And her most recent book with the little gnomes for the holiday, I think. And she's got these little gnomes celebrating just about every holiday that's on the calendar, like 4th of July and Christmas and Halloween and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, it's been done, and everybody else, might want to get in on the wagon train just because those books are selling well. So that's when I steer away from the ideas. So
okay, so now where coloring books are going now, they were really hot in the United States a few years back.
Yes.
And then they cooled off.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where they are now because of COVID and all that stuff. Where do you see the market going with coloring books?
Yeah, I think it's probably hit a plateau. The ones who are truly interested in coloring are going to stick with the hobby.
Right.
Those who see it as oh, that's interesting, I'll try it out, and then, they just aren't into it, you'll see them go by the wayside. But I do see it continuing. There might be, small waves, just like the stock market goes up and down. But I don't think it's going to go away completely. And the reason I say that is that the offerings that are out there for coloring books nowadays are so much different than what was out there a decade ago. 2 or 3 decades ago, coloring books truly were quote unquote for kids.
Right.
It was extremely hard to find topics to color in coloring books that were of interest to adults and that weren't, childish, if that makes sense.
Oh, perfect sense.
And so I think because the coloring hobby is coming over with much more sophisticated illustrations, that's what's keeping the coloring hobby industry going and staying at that plateau.
Well, one of the things too is, and this is one of the reasons why I'm interested in helping, promote Daniel and so forth, is because as you get people in here that are trying to break into, because there are a ton of coloring books out there right now, but as you get people that are breaking into the art, they need to find a voice, excuse me. And so this is where I see the value of them as well, Not to mention that, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love Kirby Roseanne's and the whole bit, but there are also artists out there that are just as good as he is.
Yes.
And they need to have their voice found.
Yes.
And your books, you know, I think that to some degree you need to have your voice found too as well.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we talked about this a little bit, that your books, I think, are underrated. And so I'm really glad that, you know, we're getting a resurgence of them. I mean, I love this book, this
Yeah.
piece that I'm doing right now.
Uh-huh.
So the genre that you're doing right now is what? What would you define what you're doing right now?
Oh, right now, I probably it's related. The methodology that I'm using to lay the colors down is sort of related to stippling, but instead of a dot, it's a short line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of mixing colors. And oh my God, I don't know if you could see the intensity of these colors, but I am loving it. How it turns.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, one of the things that I like to do, and please, Daniel, be careful. He says he's standing on a ladder right now, but he's listening. Poor guy is texting while he's on a ladder, too. One of the things that I really, really love to do is to show people that there are, you know, a number of ways, many ways to attack a page.
Yeah.
And so when you said that you wanted to do coloring of the image outside of the box,
Yeah.
I was delighted that you decided to run it that way, because people get caught up in their patterns.
Yeah.
And when they get caught up in their patterns, then they never expand as an artist.
Yes.
And so when I color with different mediums. So tell me, let me ask you this question, Dawn. How do you define coloring?
Oh Lordy. Well, the traditional sense would be just applying a crayon or a Crayola or a pencil or, you know, dry media to a dry page, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of people just are still in the kindergarten coloring mode where they think just fill in this spot with one color with one intensity in this part of the picture, and voila, I've colored. And it's sort of like if you can look at the different kinds of colors and mixing them and interspersing them with each other, and like I'm doing right here, I'm mixing the light blue, the purple, and the green together, and it's just I'm almost shocking myself at how cool the colors look. It's almost
Okay.
got that holographic, without being a holographic effect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, and it's interesting that you should bring up that point, and I've just zoomed in on something that I'm doing here, is as I'm doing my dots here, my circles on my elephant, because right now my peeps should know better than that I'm just going to, you know, put circles on this and color and throw some color in there and that's it. No. You can see now, for example, I'm putting on the stripes. You've got the holographic look, like you talked about, that turquoise and that purple.
uh-huh.
And so by doing something like this, when you're thinking outside of the box and using your different colors, see, and right now I'm following your lines, Dawn, but when I did this pink,
Yeah.
I'm going ahead and darkening the lines with a darker shade of the color that I'm using. You know,
Yes.
so right now I'm in the red family. I did the purples and blues over here, and that is completely changing the look of this piece. Now, I say this time and time again. Everybody's going, but I love the puppy. I love the puppy. Hey guys, you know, come on now. Just stroke my ego a little bit. I'm joking. This contest here is perfect because when you start to look at different ways to color, that's where you're getting into the aesthetics of it and what you're really capable of doing.
Yes.
So yesterday when I used the nail art stuff on the lady with the fur coat.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that piece?
I did see that
Dawn?
piece. Yes.
Okay. You know, a couple of people got really upset and said, hey, this is, you know, this is not coloring, and when are you going to color, and da 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 da. Well, it is coloring, guys. And I really want you to see this, that it doesn't matter what you're coloring with. It can be tea, it can be coffee, it can be soda, it can be just whatever pieces of material. You know, Maddie does a lot of coloring with her folk art, but she'll put like, yeah, she'll scrapbook color.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get with Maddie and trade off maybe one of my pictures for one of her scrapbooks, because I've seen some samples that she's posted, and oh my God, they are stunning. And I'm like, ooh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. You hear that, Maddie? Yeah, Maddie gets a little gun shy when you know, her work is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's really, really just, I love it. I do. I love that quilt that she did too.
Yep. She has been going out and photographing some stuff around her house recently, including old barns. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, because that's one of my future drawing books, is old barns that have been abandoned or falling down. I love the old decayed look that actually gives the building a little bit of personality while it still is a barn.
Yeah, and you know, that's such an interesting, she shared some of those photos in the group.
She's gonna send me one. Yay!
She is. She is. She said she's gonna send you one.
Woohoo!
All right.
Excited?
And so when I do what I'm doing, I really want to encourage people to look around and look around to textures and look around at colors and then translate that into whatever you're coloring on the page. And so I've done some pieces with sand.
I've seen
now
that.
I don't get super wild with my stuff. I've used some little pebbles, you know, that I've affixed to the page. I don't mind the embellishments, but you don't want to go, you know, you don't want to get stupid about it, because you can end up crossing the line with it.
Yeah. You won't be able to slide it into your page protector.
Yeah. But the really neat thing, and I know that Daniel is listening to this, is when you illustrate in such a way. Now, I'm not saying that you should change your style at all, but when you illustrate in such a way that somebody can run with ideas about doing stuff,
yes,
you know, that's where it really comes in.
Yeah, I think that's why that the Pinterest is so popular. It's because it's that concept. You see people that are out there that have taken a creative idea and done something with it, and some of them are stupid, but others are like,
Yeah.
ooh, I could use that idea and put my own slant onto it. You know, just like I was talking earlier about, you know, kitchen cabinets for remodeling a house are astronomically expensive if they're not ugly to begin with. But why not upcycle some furniture that you could get used for like a tenth of the price, and put a little sweat equity into it, and create something that you can't find it anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing, peeps, is I'm going through and I'm adding a little bit of dimension. Now, Daniel, I'll be seeing your book when his first book is coming out under Jolt Book, and I haven't seen the rest of his images yet, so it'll be really interesting to see what we can do with them. And that's the fun part of this group, because we've got so many creative people that they'll go ahead and play with these things. And when they play with it, that feeds back into the artist, who I hope is stimulated to draw in such a way that it feeds into what everybody's doing with that person's artwork. Does that make sense? I'm sorry, Dawn?
And grows their own talent while they're at it.
And grows their own talent. That's right.
Oh, my little puppy's looking so furry. I want to stroke it.
How are you making that look furry?
Just with the lines.
Now, I'm not asking my people to go nuts when they're doing their coloring, but I want you to work on thinking outside of the box and not do the, you know, same old every time. And that's why I introduce different mediums. So, again, some people get upset because they say I'm not quote unquote coloring because I'm not using pencil to paper. And that's where I politely say, well, yeah, you know, I am coloring, because there's so many things that you can do. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys are going to do with these pictures that Dawn and I are doing. Now, every circle that I'm doing, I'm putting in a color that will complement it. For example, let me come in with this, you can see. I don't want you guys to get into cookie cutter coloring. So right here, I'm adding this green to this blue. And then what I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of blue to that. And what I've been encouraging everybody, you know, I'll say that your eyes won't see it, but your brain will. And this is where you're getting that dimension. And that's where your stuff is going to look really cool.
Say, Matilda, I saw your message. I'll get that to you shortly after the event.
So Dawn, what frustrates you in the coloring world, being a coloring book artist?
Oh, I don't let anything frustrate me.
Well, so much for that question.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on now.
I guess if there's anything, I wish wish there were 48 hours to the day.
Okay. Okay, let me pull out. Okay, so let me entertain you. Oh, nope, don't go there. Okay. So what I'm doing now with all my circles, can everybody see how I'm working on popping them with the different shades of the different colors? And I showed you the black last night. I'm going to put a little gray in here. Oh, you went blurry, Dawn.
Oh gosh, I think it's because let me see if we could fix this.
Okay.
What was it that we did before? We tapped the, we did something before. I tapped or double tapped or triple tapped.
Yeah, not exactly 100% sure. I know that's so weird because it happens, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Oh, there we go. Lila pulled up a website that talks about decorated elephants of India.
Okay.
And Lila, do me a favor and reference our conversation in this broadcast and post that in the group, please.
I'm gonna try something with my phone here, see if I can
Okay.
get to.
I don't know if it's a broadband issue. It could be, I don't know. Just go ahead and keep coloring. We'll see if that works out.
Yeah, I think it happened the minute I picked up my page and twisted it around.
Yeah. So my 3Ds to everybody is depth, dimension, and detail. So now I need to decide on what the background color of this elephant's going to be. I'm thinking maybe a yellow or a tan. We'll see what we're going to do with that. Don't want to go too crazy with colors here. Now, as I'm adding these circles, what I want you to notice too is that I'm working my lines within or my dots within the lines of the elephant. So in other words, this blue one that I'm putting in right now, I'm going to let that tuck underneath the leg. So I'm just making my half circle right here. And the other thing that I would say to my peeps too is when you're coloring and you're experimenting, I don't want to see you get frustrated halfway through and pitch it. And the reason I'm going to really talk about that and harp on it is because when you're experimenting, that's where you're going to be the more likely to say, oh my gosh, I screwed it up. It looks awful, da 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 da. Guys, at least finish it and see how it comes out.
Let me try going in and going out and coming back in, ILene, for this picture.
Okay.
To sharpen it up again. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, sound good. And I still have to be careful what I say about Dawn because she can hear me. I can't even trash talk her. Now, I don't want to get too carried away with these dots because it's pulled up a really nice, I think we've got really nice spread of color. All right, let me get her in. Do, do, do. Hello, hello.
All right. So tell me if little puppy's sharper again.
Still looking blurry. Helen, I haven't held the contest yet for the prize. That's going to be coming up shortly. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is work with some yellows and browns on this background. Now notice I'm just going to go ahead and put my base color down very, very lightly until I figure out exactly what I want to do with this. Oh yeah, now wait, we could do something with the eyes too. I'll play with that. Now the reason that I don't want to go and see it sharpened up again, Dawn. It's sharp.
Woohoo!
Yep.
Oh, I'm so happy. Such little things make me so ecstatic. Say, Ronnie joined us. She came in a little late, I think, or she rejoined us from before. How you doing, Ronnie?
Yeah, we're gonna be running a couple of contests concurrently because I'm going to be starting up a new one shortly. Helen Elliston, Dawn, was very generous. She's been donating Amazon gift cards.
I know.
To the group.
I've heard about that.
Isn't that something? Oh my gosh. And she figured it out. She figured out how to do it directly, so it's coming in like I don't have to go to the UK site.
Oh, cool.
So it comes directly into the US site, and I'm using it both for supplies and for the contest. So the next contest is going to be quite a big one.
Yeah, don't forget I've got that book that Ronnie gave me that we'll use for a contest entry winner or something down the road too.
Okay, refresh my memory, please.
You told her that instead of mailing the book to you, just hand it to me and then I'll mail it if you ever have a contest and you want to give the book away.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. So our artists, I feel so grateful. Our artists have been so supportive of this group. Boy, that elephant head looks neat. Look at that. Yeah. Isn't that cool with that yellow? I'll play with that.
I'm still using my Monarch pencils, and I think all the ones I've used so far are the Monarch instead of the other colors. I may have to go to the Scorpion or the Black Widow here just to pep it up a little bit.
Ooh, I'm having too much fun with this piece. All right, let's see what we can do.
Well, I wanted to touch base on something that somebody that we both know, but I'm not going to mention their name because they wanted to do it ask the question anonymously.
Okay.
They asked me if someone purchases a picture from an artist like on Etsy or something like that, does the purchaser own the copyright? And I came back and I said absolutely not. The copyright remains under the ownership of the original artist, no matter what has been done to the work itself, for the life of the artist plus 75 years, with the exception that if the artist declares our rights on the illustration, this illustration has been donated to the public domain for anybody to use for whatever they wish to do or whatever, which rarely would an artist do that. So just because you purchase a picture off of Etsy that's black and white and you color it does not give you copyright ownership of the picture before or after it was colored, nor do you have the right to sell that picture and make money off of it without the permission of the artist. And to illustrate that, I had one of my colorists who is in the Philippines, completely different person, wanted to color one of my pictures, and then she wanted to auction it off to earn some money for a nonprofit organization. So I gave her written permission to do so, and that was perfect how she did it, because she legally got permission from me to color the picture and sell it. And she was kind enough to let me know she was going to do it. And so if anybody comes to me in the future and says, oh, look, I own this picture and I bought it from such and such as part of an auction, and if they explain to me, yeah, I bought it as part of a auction from this particular colorist, then I know that they did it legitimately, if that makes sense. So some people get confused as to who owns the copyright of a picture at any various stages. So the picture that you and I are coloring right now, I still own the copyright for the black and white images. And in addition to that, I own the additional copyright for the colored version of the picture once I finish it.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure where the confusion is on that. Just because you color it, color it up, it doesn't become yours.
Yes.
I mean, I would think that would be common sense, because first of all, the artist, when you bought it to color it up, you are using their template. Think of it that way, guys. It's a template that the artist is sold to you, and just because you added to it and put your colors on it, that does not make it yours to do with what you want, because you had to depend on that original artist in order to add whatever you added to it. So that should be the litmus test, is if you're only adding to something, you don't own it.
Yep. So I was delighted that this person asked me the question, because they were curious. They weren't sure about the law, and I'm glad that they went the extra mile to ask the question and get educated. So
exactly. Yeah, Julie was talking about that. There's a whole thing like like that about music and Napster on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
So the
couple of
litmus.
there's a coloring book groups that are on Facebook that actually encourage um, downloading pictures from Pinterest and other freebies on Google and stuff like that. And they will actually, I've seen some of these groups will actually go and Xerox or scan pictures from artists' book and then share them in their group going, hey, I scanned this picture last night. It's everybody, wants to color it. Here it is for free. You don't have to go buy the book. And
Mm,
luckily, a lot of people who are members of those groups will report the group owners on doing that. And then, of course, and they end up may getting kicked out of the group. But I believe that colorists who are really into the hobby of coloring now are very cognizant of this issue and really give those people a hard time that try to do that. And it's good that we have people watching our back. When you spend hours and hours drawing a picture, hoping that somebody will love it enough to want to buy it from you so you can put a little pocket change in your pocket for grocery money, it's very heartwarming. And you know what the biggest thrill for me is number one, when people say, oh my God, Dawn, I just love your books. That's a secondary thrill for me. But the number one thrill for me is when people say, I bought your book. I love it. I just got it in the mail. I can't wait to sit down and color it. And it's not the monetary reward that I get. It's that somebody really liked what I drew.
yeah.
That is just so humbling. And it's exciting to me that somebody actually took the time to tell me how much they liked it.
Good night, Miss Pearl. I'm so glad you could join us. Yeah, that's the thing, is that people need to realize that the artists want to hear this, and get this feedback. And I mean, I love this book, the this pets book, this animals go to heaven. And for people that are animal lovers, this is a perfect, book to color and play with.
Yeah. I think for me, the fun part was finding animals that most people wouldn't deem of as pets, like
Yeah.
the armadillo, the crocodile. Those were fun to put wings on.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I really enjoy having these duet color alongs, is because this information comes out from people like you, Don, as to what do you like? What floats your boat in the coloring community?
Uh-huh.
And so when you speak up and say, hey, it's when you buy my books,
So you
Okay.
mentioned yellow, and I decided I had to put some yellow in my little puppy too on his wings. Oh,
There you go.
God, I love this. I have impressed myself.
There you go. Yeah, and it's funny. Lila is asking you, Don, to move to your right a little bit.
Maybe
There you go.
to my right or to my left?
To your right. Yeah, the same thing is happening that happened to me is when you look on screen, we're looking at a split screen.
Uh-huh.
And so what I do is I move over here so I can see the entire piece in my split screen, but then people tell me that that's way to the left.
Okay,
Did you move in the right?
I moved my picture to the left, and it worked.
Oh, okay. Oh, she said move left. Okay, yeah.
So your other left, Rhonda.
Your other left.
I am hoping, one of my dreams is that when I finally get all the renovations done and I can move into my art studio at the farm, and I could start really creating more artwork without having to stop, drop, and do things, to the house, that I can actually take pictures like this right here once I'm finished and scan it and maybe sell prints. And
Oh, yeah.
of course, I've never done that before, and I have absolutely no idea what something like this would go for. So maybe I can ask your colorists if you had an opportunity to buy a print that is signed by me after we printed it out. What kind of value would you put on it? How much would you be willing to pay for a print of this, little dog, hand colored by me, illustrated by me? And I mean, I have this sounds really weird. I have only sold one piece of artwork in my life, an original piece of artwork. I don't know if that's unbelievable to people or not.
Yeah, that's I would have thought that you would have sold more than that.
I don't even know if it would be something people would want to buy.
Well, let's see what my peeps say. So what do you guys think of that? Would you buy? So this is artwork that you've colored, right? Colored or painted or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And you would sign it.
Uh-huh.
Would you buy artwork from Dawn? We'll see what that is. I should run a poll maybe in the group.
Yep. It may come back and say, nah, not worth it. And then I'll go, okay, well, I'll just keep on with my coloring books.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Maddie says many would gift the dog to those who lost a dog. And you know what, Don, if you put if somebody sees a picture of a dog that speaks to their heart and you put the name of that dog on the piece and signed it.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a good idea.
Uh-huh. Now, having said that, actually kind of bouncing off of that idea, is there are people that, let me see. Yeah, we're getting a lot of yeses in the group.
Okay.
Different types of dogs. Dawn, what you might think about here, you're going to owe me a percentage on this idea. There are people who, everyday people who for a price will, do an image of your dog or pet or whatever. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done it.
Yeah.
But I don't hear of many well-known artists who do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking that if an artist did something like that and drew the dog true to the person's pet,
yeah,
and put the person's name on it, not the person's name, the dog's name on it, and your name as the known artist, I'll bet you that would be of interest to people. What do you think, peeps?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about there is essentially commission artwork. And I am sort of leery of any commissioned artwork because there's so many people out there that say, oh, I want you to draw my dog or do this, that, and the other. And if it's not exactly what they want, they decide they don't want it. And then the artist has done a lot of work for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of leery of commission artwork. I've heard too many bad stories from it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that if you put a provision in the agreement with the person is if they don't buy it, that's something that you can turn around and.
Well, you'd have that option anyway. They can't, if they don't want to buy it, then they don't have any rights to it.
Yeah, that you could turn around and putting it, release it as a coloring page.
Yeah.
Maybe on an Etsy, store like that. But I'm not sure how many coloring book artists. I understand it's commissioned work and all that, but I'm talking about a known coloring book artist that would do that sort of thing. Somebody would say, oh yeah, I'd love a Boyer, image of my pet. That type of thing, because you are known as an artist.
Right.
Whereas if they were to come to me to do that sort of thing, I'm not known as an artist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's where the difference is. And if they don't like that piece, then you've got something that you can then turn around and release to the general public to sell as an image, perhaps on an Etsy store. Or you just wait until you get 50 images and make another book out of it.
Yeah. It's interesting that organic things like people and animals, for me, it's hard for me to draw those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's hard for y'all to hear coming out of my mouth or can't believe it, but it is. It's hard for me to draw organic images. I prefer the hard, like, architectural type of drawings and things with geometric shapes to them.
Yeah, I think what you need to do, Dawn, is you need to go through the comments and see what people think, because I can't, I can't follow it right now because I'm, doing this coloring. But the initial comments that I'm seeing, I mean, you are a known, famous color book artist.
Yeah, Helen said she did it for several years.
Yeah, there you go.
Art, pet portraits.
How did that work out for you, Helen? So if somebody wants, a Boyer of their pet, then you can do that sort of thing. So here's my question. If they buy the piece from you, is that something that you could still use in your coloring books?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't own the copyright. They just own that print or that. They could own the original if they wanted to pay that much money for it, but they would not own the copyright unless they bought the copyright from me. But then
okay, and
it could
go ahead.
actually still be restricted.
Okay, so here's my thought for you, Dawn, is if you put it out there that you and let's say you're comfortable doing animals, which I think you are, and start getting feedback from what people want as far as the animal. And if they buy it from you, that is extra, you know, it's money for you.
Yeah.
And if it, you could still use it in coloring books. So you set it aside, and every time you get 50 of them,
Yeah.
make a book.
Well, that's an idea.
And if they do buy it, I don't know what the percentage is. Let's say you do 100, excuse me, let's say you do 100 of these and you sell 80 of them, you know, then you're paid for 80 of them, plus you have the material for your books. What do you guys think of that? Because you've got a certain style that people like. So the fact that you're a coloring book artist and you're known, that's where this comes in. What do you guys think of the way I'm doing this elephant with the yellow face and then the orange body? Okay. So I'm going to play on that.
So Helen says that she just got tired of doing the pet portraits, and
Yeah.
Maddie Gentle, she was commissioned to do murals in kids' bedrooms, and that was fun. I've done a couple of murals of like undersea paintings and stuff like that, and I had a ball painting those up on the wall.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you like my elephant. All right, I want to play around with these wings too now. I'm gonna get away from this for a second. Let that sit and see. But yeah, and the neat thing is, Dawn,
Yeah.
is that again, you have the potential of making that sale, and then even, you know, if they buy it, that's an extra. If they don't buy it, either way, you still have images that you can turn around and make that coloring book out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, right now my day job pays much more money than my artwork, so
Of course.
that's going to definitely have to be in the future.
Of course. Okay, let me see what kind of trouble I can get into with some of these. Yeah, I agree with you. I love that face on your dog, by the way, Dawn.
He looks like he's missing his daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, Helen wanted to know what your day job is.
Helen, I rewrite resumes for people who are looking for jobs, and I specialize in government civil service resumes as well as curriculum vitae for academics and people who are looking for jobs in just about any field. I've done resumes for 4-star admirals from the Navy all the way down to hull repair mechanics, welders, salespeople, used car salespeople, people working in pharma sales. You just about name the career. I've done a resume for those type of clients. And I also do editing, and I help people get published in the print on demand industry. I've helped over 50 other artists and authors publish their manuscripts and books for sale on Amazon, as well as private books that are like memoirs that are just meant for the family. I just finished one client's book about 2 or 3 months ago. It was like almost 400 pages long, and it was a memoir of his life that he wanted to give to his daughter once she was old enough to read some of the painful experiences he went through as a child and a young adult, which made him what he was today. So it's interesting because these clients that I help publish their books, it's almost like they become part of my own family. Because I get to know them so well through their manuscripts. And one lady that I've helped, one lady was working on this book of poetry for 20 years and finally had the gumption to go and get it published. And over the course of 6 months, I helped her get her memoirs and her poetry published. And she is probably one of my proudest clients for the end product. And she's already got enough. She's financially well off, so she didn't need the royalties from the book. So all the profits from her book goes to the Lottie Moon mission from her through her church and her missionary missions. So that was pretty cool to know that how the book is selling like hotcakes for her too.
Okay. Dawn, can you push your piece up a little bit? They can't see the feet of your puppy.
Let me change the angle of the, let me see if I can tuck something in to help that. Hopefully it'll get there.
So bottom line, Dawn, you're going to keep publishing coloring books, right?
Yes, as far as I can, and probably till the day I die.
Okay.
Or just can't pick up a pencil anymore.
Now, by the way, what I haven't found the heart in the elephant.
Huh. Well, you're just going to have to put one in there.
I guess so.
It's not in any of the wings?
I'm not seeing it at the moment.
Okay, because honestly, I have no idea where it is. And if you can't find it, just make one up.
Okay, I will do that. Now, one thing I wanted to tell my peeps as well. So, of course, whenever you get Dawn's books and you know, if you like her work, please, 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 please review it on Amazon. But the other neat thing, ooh, I like what you're doing with those wings, Dawn.
Yeah.
Please mention Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Now, the reason that I say that, I did a review on a book. Actually, it was one of the ones that I had purchased in England, the English order from Helen, and got it shipped. And I put the review, and I said, I use this book. It looks like a pink heart on the elephant's eye. Oh, already with that there. So I did a review, and I said, I'm teaching this book in, or using this book in Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick on Facebook. And they approved the review. So I'm asking you guys, please, is do a review of the books that you purchased, and please mention Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick on Facebook, and hopefully that will bring some more people into the group. That would be very helpful, and it will help Dawn as well.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to put my base color now of my gold on my wings. Boy, I really like what you're doing with those wings. So for anybody in my group that's serious about helping promote it, please sit down and put in all the reviews for all the stuff that you've purchased.
Let me tell you a little secret trick about reviews on Amazon, because sometimes it could turn out to be a pleasant surprise and a profitable endeavor. This has happened to me twice, and you have to be careful about who you're working with. But every once in a while, you'll buy something, and you may get an email from the manufacturer of the product, and they will ask you, can you please put a positive review on Amazon for this product if you like it, and if you do, we will reward you with this, that, or the other. Well, my husband and I bought this video film camera. This is about a year ago, and I think I paid about $160 some for it. It was low end. It wasn't like a high end, very expensive camera, but I got an email from the manufacturer through Amazon, and they said, if you will put a positive review for this camera on Amazon, on the Amazon page for this product, we will refund you to your PayPal account the cost of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a great little camera, and I didn't mind reviewing it at all. And if they hadn't preempted it with the email, then I probably would have given them a review without even being paid. But what I did was I posted the review. It was a positive review, and then sent them a screenshot of the review so they knew that I had done it. And then within a week, I had a complete refund of my purchase price for this camera in my PayPal account, which I thought was pretty darn cool. But in order for you to get attention from these manufacturers, you have to be reviewing products a lot so that they will see that you are a consistent reviewer. So if you just post like one review every once in a blue moon, they're going to say, okay, they don't really do that many reviews. But if they see that just about everything you purchase on Amazon, you review it and provide, especially if you provide good positive reviews, they may reach out to you and say, oh, we'll refund you the price, if you review our product. Now, essentially, they're paying for a positive review, which could get you into trouble and could get them into trouble. But if you were going to post a positive review anyway, then go ahead and take advantage of the offer.
Yeah.
I have had somebody contact me and said, we'll send you all these free products as long as you put 5-star reviews on them after you get them. And I sent a message back and I said, I can't promise 5-star reviews on things that you send me, because if I get it and I open it up and look at it and it's crap, I'm not going to give it a positive review. So they sort of went away. But it's interesting that possibility is out there, and you can work it for some good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that happen to me with my headset, is that they said if I would give it a positive review, it was the one that I actually ended up sending back.
Uh-huh.
They would give me, I think it was like an $18 gift certificate.
Uh-huh.
And I have mixed feelings about companies that do that, because unless I'm going to, you know, positively review it anyway,
Right.
and there are people out there that will just do a positive review because they want the product.
Right. Yeah, and you have to look at the wording too. Sometimes people will say, I was, you know, it's okay for you to go on and say, I was sent a sample of this product to review, and here is my honest, unbiased opinion about this product. Um,
Right.
and, but Amazon doesn't always like for people to be paid to review, so you got to be very careful, because um, it could bounce back and hurt both the reviewer and the seller.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use my metallic pens on here. Let me see something here. Hopefully this won't turn into a seemed like a good idea at the time. Go ahead, Dawn.
Yeah, it looks like you got a little fuzzy. Yeah, and Maddie Gentle said, don't just leave one word for a review. I actually write a review, like, you know, to describe the book.
Yeah.
Put some in, you know, the illustrations were good enough for beginners to color, as well as some complicated pieces for more advanced colorists for coloring books. The pages were, you know, able to be filled for the whole. You know, I enjoyed coloring it, and you know, I colored it with my children. My husband likes the pictures too, and you can actually take screenshots of the product and post that to the review too.
That's right.
I've seen some people actually do a quick flip through movie and then posted it on an Amazon review, which is okay, because the DPI of the images are really pixelated. So you're not
Yeah.
nobody's going to be able to get a screenshot and steal the picture. But you know, and sometimes people leave reviews with them actually using the product. So you could have someone stand over your shoulder and do a little bit of a video of you coloring a page out of the book. That would be another suggestion.
Yeah. Well, as most of you know, and people that have hung around me and are in this group, you know that I don't do this for the money. In fact, it costs me a lot of money.
Yes, but you have so many new friends.
Well, and that, you know, and that's exactly the point, Dawn, is that I like to think of this as a safe haven for people to come in and just relax and chat and have fun and learn. Learn. I mean, I don't care if you sit there and you're not really saying anything. That's fine if it relaxes you to sit and watch this and just listen to the banter. Then that's great. I've had so many people contact me and tell me how much they enjoy that.
Yep. Well, every once in a while, I don't really join in, but I'll turn you on and leave you on at background noise while I'm drawing or illustrating.
Yeah.
I got to figure out what I'm going to put on the background of this puppy.
No kidding. I'm there with you. Yeah, we can't see the footies again. We'll just move your camera just a little bit.
I've got my page as tied up against the piece in front, the shelf in front of me.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those things that is
There
just,
you go. Yeah, I get comments all the time, private notes from people, how much, they'll say you have no idea what you've done for me and, stuff like that. And that just makes me feel really good.
yeah.
And what's really cool then is I've had, artists donate to the group, and Ellen did. Let's see here. I've had Helen did, Jeff Jeff Haney. They know they don't have that, I mean, but out of the blue, they'll pop up something and I'll get supplies with it. So we have a lot of fun with that. And then on top of that, bless my peeps, they'll go ahead and they've donated my coffee, my little coffee fund.
Yeah.
Even if it's $1, that helps,
Not to mention mysterious printers showing up in the mail.
Well, and I'll tell you, I was absolutely floored when that showed up. I mean, the person that did that, I couldn't believe it. Got the box, opened it up, and it's literally one of those, how people will say they did a double take. I did a double take. I mean, my gosh. And I'll tell you, I have been able to do a lot of valuable work now because I have that printer to do it. And what's really neat, yeah, Lila people send me supplies out of the blue.
Oh, you were going out there.
Lila sent these metallic markers that I'm working right now. So my little running joke is you send it to.
Last I heard.
I mean, I hadn't even asked for these metallic markers, and they showed up. And I certainly didn't ask for the printer. I didn't say, hey guys, will somebody buy me a printer? No.
I'm going to try something here. I don't know if it's going to work.
I'm sorry, Don?
I'm going to put a little smears of gold on the wings. I'm not sure if it's working.
Silver would look really good too, I think.
Yeah. See if I got a silver marker. Might work better.
Yeah. A couple of people said that both of us are blurry right now. I'm looking at my screen and mine's sharp.
It's not working. Let's see. The AEN art. Let's see if this does anything.
So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm taking and I'm running a single line down the feather, drawing my little feather vines with single.
Yeah, I'm seeing both of us out of focus on the screen on my tablet, and you're in and out every other word.
Yeah.
Let's see if the focus may come back, because I think last time I just left it alone to see what would happen, and it eventually came back.
Yep. I mean, it's something to do with Facebook.
I think you froze there. I hear bells.
Yeah, I was saying not us. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Dawn has completely frozen up.
What time do you have? Oh, can't.
Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Tuesday, April 20th at 9:15 p.m. I was bumped. I'm back on. So come on back in if you can. Hopefully we'll get you all back in here. So that we can continue this. Hey Julie, welcome back. Okay. Okay, so you can't get back online, Dawn? Or yeah, just go ahead and continue coloring, Dawn. Zoom in. There we go. Okay, that sounds good, Dawn. Well, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it this way, Dawn. Let me think this through. Do you want to just go ahead and finish it off camera? Why don't you go ahead and finish it off camera? And I'll finish mine on camera. Julie wants her 3-hour session. Gotta get your money's worth. Besides, Dawn, that way I can trash talk you and you can't do anything about it. Or better yet, you know what, Dawn? Let me stop and we'll do part 2. Do you want to do it tomorrow night? Zoom out. So, if that's agreeable to you, let's go ahead and do part 2 tomorrow night. Yeah, first hour. Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, sweetie. Sounding good. All right, let me pull up another piece I was working on. Okay, so what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to be doing part 2 with Dawn tomorrow night in the first hour. So I'm going to stop right there. And Dawn will be back tomorrow. All right. So this is Rustic Country Scenes from Life Escapes. I was working on this for you, particularly, excuse me, the silo. Oh, good. Thank you, Lila. And I think what I'm going to do now is zoom in. Go ahead and work on that barn. Now, I've got my blues here for the silo. And if you want to see how I did this from the other day, just go ahead and go up to keywords. Go into the search where the little magnifying glass is and type in keywords silo, and that will bring you to the video. And the reason that you put keywords, the word keywords in there, is my video postings are the only ones that have that word in it. Okay, so let me pull, let's see what I want to pull here. I want to get a nice red, I think. Good night, Maddie. Zoom in. I'm so disappointed when we have problems with our broadcasts like that. It really bums me out. Dear Facebook, you want us to use your product, but you screw it up. Okay, so I'm going to put a very, very light tint of red on my barn. Now remember, we're going to use a light, a medium, and a dark when we're doing this. And what I want you to do is even the very dark area, I want you to go ahead and tint that. Now, I am barely touching the paper with this red. And what I also want to point out to you is this is my light red. This is my red for the light portions of the page. But even so, I'm taking it and I'm going over my dark areas because I want that tint to be there. And I've talked a lot about this because you guys get nervous when you see black on grayscale. You still need to color it. So here we've got the dark, the medium, and the light red. So I'm going to go ahead and use that red all as a tint all over as a base color. So does that make sense to everybody? I'm using the red that I would be using on the light, and I'm doing it all over. Lila, what are you talking about? Not anymore, but it is hard for me to figure out what it is. Okay, so that's plywood right there. And I can't emphasize this enough. I am hardly touching the page with this color. Oh yeah, because of your vision. Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm going over everything with what I'm using as my lightest color. So even though it's the black, it's still giving me that tint that I want. Zoom out. Oh, beautiful. All right. So I have defined this particular red as being my light red. Good night, Miss Rhonda. And you are most welcome. You're welcome. Dawn and I enjoyed doing this. We're going to finish this tomorrow night. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over my medium areas. With my slightly darker red. Totally different pencil color here. Zoom in. Everybody see how rich that's looking? Oh, I really enjoyed that coloring with Dawn. And I hope she was able to give you guys some valuable information. Zoom in. The nice thing about these duet colorings that's really neat, and this is what benefits the group, is that the artist really relaxes. And the information that she was passing along to you guys is absolutely invaluable. Now remember, in coloring the very darkest areas with your colors, this is one of those things your brain sees it. Yeah, it is great to see the different coloring styles. We're all different. All right, zoom out. Zoom out. So here's where I don't want you to go brain dead when you're coloring on grayscale. Is I'm going to take my medium red, which is what I'm doing my medium areas with, and I'm going to go ahead and bring some of that down into my light red. Zoom in. So see this spot here? I'm just going to go ahead and add to that, kind of make it a weathered look. Now that was not put on the original, but I wanted to go ahead and enhance this. Does that make sense? And we'll go ahead and do that in some of my spots on the rest of this. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. But it's just enough to give it this character. And then I'm going to do one more thing with this, is I'm going to grab some gray. This will be really cool. Let me go back to the left, zoom in. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of gray. And I'm going to go right over that red with it. And that's going to weather that. Both the red where I enhanced and also the side of the barn here as well. So I'm adding streaks of red and gray to this light area on my grayscale. Not complex at all. Okay. What do you guys think of that? Do you like the way that's looking? And I'm also going to add a little bit of gray into this medium red on the side of the barn. And let me pull out just a little bit and show you now. I want you to look at the difference between this face of the barn and this face of the barn where I haven't added that extra gray. And this is what I want you to think about. And if you're wondering why I didn't do anything down here, that's plywood. And the neat thing about doing something like that is it lets you play with it. And for those of you who say, well, how do I know where to put this stuff? Well, look at some pictures, start to do it, and then as you start to do it on your coloring, you're naturally going to continue with it. Now, I'm going to add an overall gray to the face here, so I'm not going to really streak any of the gray in. I'm just going to put it on the side overall, and I'm going to darken slightly underneath the eave with the gray. And again, that wasn't indicated in the grayscale at all. I'm adding it as my touch to it. Now, don't get too much in a pattern with this. You don't want to be too much of a pattern with it because that's not going to look right either. So I've almost got too much pattern between these two sides here, excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and go more with gray on this side. Just to change that up a little bit. Much better. Zoom out. Look at that. What do you think? And a lot of this extra shadowing wasn't there. Don't be afraid to add extras to your grayscale, guys. Okay, base coat here. Now the yellow's going to look a little wonky right now because I've already got this yellow up in the sky. Good grief, excuse me. But not to worry. But wait, there's more. So this yellow gold is my lightest color. Remember, light, medium, dark, and grayscale. And I'll go ahead and do this with the roof over here as well. Let's see. Okay, so we've got this right here. And remember, this base color that I'm putting in is the light color of my light, medium, dark. Good night, Steph. I'm only going to be on for 10 more minutes, sweetie. So now I've got my medium gold here, and I'm going to hit my shadows. See all this gray on here? Zoom in. This is going to look cool. So that ridge line is going to be darker, right? And then I have my little marks here from my weathered look, okay? So again, I've used my light and my medium. And even though there's just light over here, I'm going to add that right there. Now, for time purposes, I'm going to skip this for the moment, but let me go ahead and do this side of the roof. And you really want to be rolling your pencil, guys, so that you can get your lines in here. Honestly, guys, I don't understand why people have so much problem with grayscale. It makes you look good. It really does. Okay, so let me find my brown. So this is my dark now. And I'm going to come in here with my dark brown, and I'm going to stick to the edges and the creases for the most part. Now when you're filling in a little gutter area like I'm right here, bring your line down, bring your color up and down a little bit just to give it some character. You don't want just a straight gutter line in there. Okay, almost there, guys. Sit tight with me. All right. And now I'm going to use my blender pencil because I want that muted look, and I want to spread that brown, both the light and the dark, over that whole area. Now again, we've talked about this with grayscale, is just be careful that your blender pencil isn't pulling up your gray. Brush. Zoom out. Look at that. And if you need to go back with one of your colors, like your medium or your light, and enhance an area, maybe you think it looks a little streaky, go ahead and do that. And then you can soften that look. So if you want a more weathered look on here, you can soften it up. But see, you've got your basic colors on there now, and you've got your light, your medium, and dark, and you've enhanced those shades. And now when you go over it with your pencil, here's a white pencil now to even mute it a little more. This is optional on the white for sure. It just depends what look that you want. And remember, you don't have to go over the whole area with your white, just go over those areas that you want to enhance. Okay. Zoom out. There you go. Let me get that into focus. So we're getting there. And again, if you don't like that level of brown on the top, that's always changeable. But see, this is where you're working your progress. And I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. This is why you can't say, I'm going to abandon this. People abandon at times when they shouldn't be. Get in all your colors first, and then start working your details. Anybody have any questions or comments about that? Zoom out. Now, right now, off the cuff, this looks a little bit too yellowy because of the sky. But the thing is, you've got to realize we don't even have this bottom part and the grass in and the plywood. So you really can't be making value decisions until you get those other colors in. And then we'll see how that looks. So yeah, looking pretty good. All right, I think I'm going to call it an evening. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for coming back, even when we got booted. And I hope you learned something from this, because I think it's a pretty neat piece. I love it. All right, guys, this is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Thank you so much. I'm glad you could attend. I'm glad you attended for dawn, and we will finish tomorrow night. All right, guys. Good night. Love ya. Take it easy. And you guys are most welcome. You're welcome, Julie. Bye.